Welcome to another episode of the Brand X Podcast. I'm John. I'm here with my partner, Deuce.
Come stop, bitches.
And we are live at the BXP studio. And I was so excited. I wanted to show everybody on Facebook Live that we're all here together. And we started and we're talking and we're doing the show. And I looked down. I never pressed record.
John dropped the ball.
Dropped the ball. And also, we have the Jimmy. Jimmy's here.
Special first guest.
Oh, Jimmy, what do you do? What do you do? It's the Jimmy.
I got to ask you a question.
Jimmy,
when you hear me do that, when you're listening to the podcast, do you get mad when I play the Jimmy sound effect or not?
Oh, no. I've come to enjoy it.
Well, our listener, Eddie, he loves the Jimmy.
Yeah.
He sent the fan request. He wants a link.
He wants me to publish the Jimmy MP3 so he can download it. I don't know why anybody would want the Jimmy download.
It is catchy.
It is catchy?
Yeah, it's a pretty good little tune.
I got another one here.
Yeah, I don't get offended easily, so.
Oh, not you.
But, I got to say, we did about 10 to 12 minutes with...
don't worry. We're going to get back into the 10 to 12 minutes.
And that's... I don't know if we can repeat that, though. It's gonna,
trust me. It'll get better. We'll do better.
Okay.
Well, it was better when the police car went by unexpectedly.
Oh, yeah.
Because that fell
That's
right.
true. I can't, yeah.
I think we're going to leave that part out.
When the paddy wagon pulled up.
Right, because we were talking about that. Here's the other one I have. Let's see if this one. Which one do I have? Let's.
It's the Jimmy. The Jimmy is on the phone. Oh, Jimmy, what do you want, Jimmy?
But it's just you on the phone, so that's not really. It's not the same as this one.
No. Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy, what do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, I think I like the original.
Oh, Jimmy, what do you
Right.
do? What do you do?
Then this is the real original one.
Oh, it's the Jimmy. It's the Jimmy. The Jimmy is on the phone.
I never heard that one.
The Jimmy is on the phone. Oh.
Right. Exactly. So anyhow. All right, so let's start this dumpster fire again. This show is a dumpster fire.
Yeah, take a deep breath.
Well,
Find your center.
yeah. Well, Deuce, what story do you want?
Now it sounds canned.
Well, Deuce, what story do you want to go into first? Should we talk about the Florida man that fucked his pit bull, or should we go into something else?
Well, I heard Robin Thicke was a horrible father.
You want to do that one?
Hey, why not?
Oh, I can't believe that I missed the pit bull story. That was 15 minutes worth of entertainment right there.
Yeah, we can come back and revisit it.
You want to get back? All right.
Let's let that one rest.
Let's table that.
Yes.
I'm so upset with myself right now. You can't even
As
imagine.
well you should be. Yeah, just getting here, the whole machinations. It's normally like a 20-minute drive to get here. They have Cooper Road and Evergreen closed down. It was like, well, they must be doing utility work. It took me almost an hour to get here. I was just like...
I don't know. Do you think now that we have this...
Allentown in an hour.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you could have been to Reading by that time.
Christ, I could have
You've
been.
been hanging out with Dave and Jerry from Bad Cop, Bad Cop.
Yeah, they would have remembered to push the record button.
They would have remembered to push the record button.
I'll bet they would have.
Yes, they would have.
But, you use the term dumpster fire quite often.
Yes.
And I have to tell you a little story about a dumpster fire.
Okay.
Before I knew what an ABC fire extinguisher was, there was a dumpster fire.
Okay.
And I think we used 4 fire extinguishers on the dumpster fire. And as soon as we'd empty the fire extinguisher, it would flare back up again
Right.
because we did not have the proper extinguisher. So
You used the water one.
no, you need a water one.
Yeah.
Oh, you were
We had
using
a
the camel?
BC, I believe. I don't know. Could you help me out on that?
A is for general rubbish.
Trash.
So that would
Right.
be just like a water.
Yeah. We
And
would
then you
put
have B for
That's for like petroleum
electrical.
stuff.
No,
No,
it's-
C is for
yeah,
electrical.
you're right. C is electrical for charged equipment. And then you have K. Now they have a new one because I just took this. That's for like restaurant applications, like a grease fire.
Right.
So evidently they're using a new. Ironically enough, I just had this test at work the day before yesterday.
Oh, you should
So-
be fresh on this. Any fireman
Right.
listen to us saying, what a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, what is it? Yeah,
But
but
we,
have that.
we emptied at least 3 extinguishers on that dumpster, and each time it would flare back
Where was
up.
this at?
At the old original, the original Buchanan.
Oh, okay.
Mobile.
The
original.
mobile.
Mobile, yes.
Wow, I was just like a little tiny kid back then.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, remember the Volkswagen Golfs and the Rabbits?
Right.
When they
Yes.
were, the Rabbit was first. Well, apparently they had magnesium blocks, and I was at my grandfather's
wow.
house, and we saw this car fire, and it was all closed up, so we got out to watch. Hey, let's watch a car fire, and it took them a long time to put this fire out, so they finally knocked it out. And my grandfather was like talking to the chief or something there. He said, "Man, I didn't think you were ever going to get that out." He says, "Oh, it's these damn magnesium blocks they just keep burning and burning and burning.
Yeah, I didn't think you could put out magnesium with water.
Well, no. Well, they were they were dumping tons and tons of foam on it. And like Jimmy said, if there's just a little bit of air finds a way back in there, it comes up. And my grandfather said, I didn't even know that they should even be making things like that. And then the fire chief said, this is the fourth one I've put out. And this was like in the late 70s. So apparently, like, Volkswagen had an issue with their cars burning up, So
first we run them out of oil, then we set them ablaze.
Oh man, right. it was spectacular. It was like a blue haze to the flame. It was like, whoa.
When we do something in Germany, we do it right.
But man, it was like, God damn, that was like burning up like a bitch.
We can really go off tangent, can't we?
Oh, yeah, well, we do that. Okay, so I got a dumpster fire story. So when I was working up in Quakertown, I worked in a industrial paintings. There we go. We got a fire going. So they had a dumpster right up against the side of the building. Oh, apparently, I don't know what they did, but there was, again, big dumpster fire, and I mean big flames out of this thing. And they're waiting for the fire department. Now it's starting to catch the building on fire. So everybody's like running. They're trying to empty the building out. So the thing's burning, and they're just watching it. Nobody's doing anything. So I grab the big forklift, and I run over there, and I grab the forklift has a chain on it for pulling crates and stuff off. I took the chain, I hooked it up to the dumpster, and I pulled it out in the middle of the parking lot. So it just sat there and burned for the fire department to come out. So it didn't burn the building down.
Saved the building, right.
Saved the building. So the manager's like, what a great idea. You think? And you're making more money than me? Jackass. Jesus.
You should have got a raise immediately.
I should have got a raise. I did get a raise. I got out of that town.
I don't know if I told this story before, but when I had my business.
I'm sorry. I still think the dog fucking story was much more entertaining, but go ahead.
Well, fire is something mesmerizing about fire. We had, when I had my business with in Runnymede, and the fire inspector came in to do an inspection. And they checked. I had 2 fire extinguishers, and they checked to make sure that the exit signs are illuminated and all that bullshit. And he turns around and he says, now, have all your employees been trained on the proper application on how to use these fire extinguishers? And one of the girls that worked for me at the time, she's standing there, and she looked like Ralphie from A Christmas. So she had like that round face with the big glasses and everything. And I said, yes, they have. And her eyes got big as saucers, and she's like looking like she visibly blanched, like, because she was afraid that the guy's going to ask her questions.
Now, take this. I'm going to set a fire, and I want you to put it out with this fire extinguisher.
So he said, okay, that's great. And he signs off and he leaves. And I turned around to her and I said, now, Deb, this is very important. In the event that there's a fire, you are to run out of the building as quickly as possible, because I'm not paying you anywhere near enough fucking money to put fires out. I've got insurance.
Let it burn.
Burn, baby, burn.
Burn, baby, burn. Right.
There's no, which really, I mean, I'm not going to like make an employee like put their life in jeopardy for something like that. But just the look on her face when I said, yes, they have. She was like,
I have another fire story.
Oh, boy.
See, fires are universal.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it. It just popped into my head. I have another fire story. So my father was an industrial painter. He had a business behind our house in a garage. And we were carrying, we used to go in the back around the corner, and they had the 55-gallon drums of thinner. And we would take them and pump them into 5-gallon containers and bring them in. Well, the one kid comes in, he's walking with it, trips, falls, and the container of lacquer thinner falls and goes right into a puddle.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh, what are we going to do? So me, being the smart guy that I am, I said, I know what we'll do. We'll burn it off. That way we don't have to worry about it. I took a match. I flicked it from this, from a pretty good distance away. Holy cow.
Jimmy shaking his head.
It was like... The flames had to be 10 feet in the air. You ever see where the it's like cartoon and they don't know what to do, so they run around and they bump into each other and stuff like that? That was me and the other guy. We're like, what do we do? What do we do? So I get the hose that's there, and I'm trying to put this out.
That's a good idea.
With a hose.
It's just spreading fire everywhere.
The black smoke that came off of that fire. I remember, we're not supposed to have a business back there because,
right.
Buchanan in Lithuania means gets no permits. So we're not supposed to have a business there. The amount of smoke and fire that came, my mom comes running out of the house. What are you doing? What am I doing? What's it look like I'm doing? I'm burning down the building is what I'm doing. Thank God the building was cinder block. I think it just burned out.
Yeah, and that, like you said, that's like a black sooty, looks like you're sending smoke signals.
I'll tell you, if my father was there, he would have.
Well, that was my next question. I mean, he clearly didn't see you there.
He wasn't there. No,
yeah,
he wasn't there.
Just like...
If he was there, and this actually is a great segue into our next story about Alan Thicke. He's not Parent of the Year. Apparently, his ex-wife, he was married to Paula Patterson, is the name of his ex-wife. They have a 6-year-old son named Julian. So apparently, the police were involved. Representative from the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department confirms that law enforcement officials were dispatched to the Patton. Why do I get these names? Why don't you read these things? Why am I reading this stuff?
Well, it's a lot more fun because...
No, it's not. Not for me. It's not more fun.
Say that one more time.
No, I'm not. Why do I read these? You guys sit there just like, there he goes. Watch him say this one.
It is visually mesmerizing.
Come on. Are you kidding me?
All right, where's it at? I'll read the story. Which Robin Thicke story is it?
Robin Thicke is not Parent of the Year.
All right, let me get to that page.
And I'm not editing a word of this.
Put a new computer for this. I'm going to just talk about crimes and cocktails now.
Just trying to see how long it takes you to get ready.
Well, you need the stopwatch. This is going to play a video, is it? It looks like it's about to play a video.
Well, if you just go in, I have everything written.
Well, I wasn't in there. That's why.
Go into
okay.
You have two things to do. You have to open up Trello, and you have to open up the sound effects board.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Don't have what?
I didn't have Trello opened up. Don't break my balls. Okay.
Is this the first time?
One day after an L.A. judge rejected Paula Patton's request to limit ex-husband Robin Thicke's joint custody of their 6-year-old son, Julian, the dispute between the former couple is becoming increasingly fraught, which is not the right word here. I can see why you stumbled over this.
So it's not me?
Well, it is you, but
Thank you.
You should. A representative for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department Lost Hills Station confirms to People that law enforcement officials were dispatched to Patton's Calabasas home Friday morning after Julian didn't arrive at school. He had missed his visitation with Thicke the evening before. The representative referred to the incident as a non-event, but said it involved the child not wanting to go with someone. Court documents obtained by People show that Patton texted Thicke to tell him she was picking up their son on Thursday, January the 5th, despite it being Thicke's custodial time. Paula sent someone to school to intercept Julian in violation of the custody orders. Thicke's lawyer, Angela Pierce of D. Donato, tells People, adding that she did not return into school today. Thicke's lawyer says the singer is concerned about Julian's well-being. Julian only shows any evidence of emotional harm when questioned by Paula or in her presence, says Pierce D. Donato, or Pierce D. Donato, whatever.
Say that one more time.
Say that one more time, son of a bitch. Counters a source familiar with the situation. Julian has made it clear he does not feel safe in his father's presence, a fact confirmed today by the Malibu Sheriff's Department determination, with Mr. Thicke present, that the child needed to remain with his mother. The pair's divorce was officially granted last March after a year-long separation. The actress accuses Thicke of physically abusing Julian, which the Blurred Lines singer adamantly denies.
So apparently he likes to spank his kid. He doesn't like to spank his kid.
Yeah.
He doesn't have an aversion to spanking a kid when it escalates to that.
Or actually he's a real parent and he gives a shit about his kid and he administers discipline when he feels he's necessary.
And sometimes you have to step it up.
Right.
See, here's the thing. And I'm going to stand by this. And, please send all hate mail to hello@brandxpodcast.com.
Courtesy John.
I say when a kid's young, 3 or 4, maybe 5, you got to get one good ass whipping when he does something wrong. Because all you need to do is the kid's got to know you're capable. That's all. Because the 3 of us grew up when getting a spanking wasn't a big deal. Matter of fact, Jimmy and I went to Catholic school, and the nuns, they beat the shit out of us. So it wasn't a big deal. So I really don't have any kind of compassion for this. I think that, now listen, I have 5 kids. 3 of them I never had to raise a hand to. Okay? Because when you told them something, they did it. 2 of them were like me and very rebellious. And every once in a while, you had to make them comply. Now, I'm not saying I took a belt off or anything like that, but every once in a while, you tell them that, if you had to take them upstairs, sometimes you had to take them upstairs. And if they didn't want to go upstairs, you had to carry them upstairs by the back of the shirt sometimes.
Yeah, I did the belt thing a couple. I did whatever my parents did to me. Although he never got the wooden spoon out of the gravy pot. You know?
I was beat in my house with everything that had a handle on it.
Oh, yeah.
So
Joan Crawford was my mother's hero. Wire hangers, hair brushes, whatever it took.
Well, as many as you guys who know John, he is probably as Polish as you can get. He says Lithuanian, but he was a little thick as a young boy.
I'm not. Yeah.
He didn't get it that he was going to get the shit beat out of him again. He thought that wouldn't happen after the 23rd time, but he got it quite a bit. I, on the other hand, learned pretty quickly not to do that in school.
Yeah, Jimmy was a big sneak.
No,
he was.
No.
He was
not in school.
He was a coward and he was a sneak. He would sneak and do it behind her back. Unlike me, just boldly went out there, just did it right in front of him.
And eventually, John had to leave Catholic school. He probably told you that.
You were asked.
Yes.
Well, I think it was a combination.
Well, what happened was...
That's the polite way of saying he was kicked out of Catholic school. Because every priest and nun that I ever spoke to says, well, he was asked to leave the school. Like, as if it was like a nice formal, like, we would think it would be okay.
I was in 5th grade, and I was leaning back on my chair, and this Susan B. Anthony-looking woman, Miss Formanak was her name.
God rest her soul.
God rest her soul. She grabbed my chair and pulled it over. And when I came back, I hit my head against the wall. I hit it so hard that I had like a good-sized lump on the side of my head.
Right.
So she's standing in front of me. And she's, the kids are laughing. And she's standing in front of me and says, I told you not to lean back on your chair. So I, in a fit of anger, kicked the desk. Now, these were those big desks where you used to put your books in them. They were made out of steel and they had a like 3/4-inch solid wood top.
With the lifting lid?
It didn't lift. You just put your things on there. I kicked that desk so hard that it pivoted up like this and came down like a hammer on top of her foot and broke her foot.
Cool.
Right? So she's jumping around.
You're going to burn in hell.
Well, she was only a teacher.
Only.
So then they called that penguin in Miss Emily, or Sister Emily. Sister Emily came in, and then I had to go down, and I wasn't allowed to leave until my mom came in.
Right.
So my mom came in, and they told the story, and I told the story, and they told the story, and my mom rubbed the back of my head and saw the big giant lump I had. And she goes, what's this? So then that was it. And it was the best day of my life. If I would have known that would have got me out of Catholic school, I'd have broke my 4th grade teacher's foot, to be quite honest with you.
My uncle went to like real Catholic school in the city.
What was I in? What do you think real Catholic school? I was in real Catholic school.
That's pretend Catholic school.
That's bullshit.
That's pretend. You go to Philadelphia, like when my uncle and my father, you're in a classroom of 60 kids.
Okay.
Okay. And they're lumping everybody up. Well, this one guy, he was not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And the nun was asking questions. It was like a definition. So tell me what this is. And you would have to answer. So eventually they get to the stupidest kid in the class. And the question to him was, what do you call a wandering group of people that live in the desert? Okay.
Sin? No, never mind.
Well, the answer is nomad. Exactly.
I didn't know what it was.
No, I don't know. Jimmy was
camel jockey?
No, nomad. So the kid was standing there all like, petrified and confused.
So what'd he say?
So one of the kids whispered to him, nomad. And he says, a snowman. And then the nun says, you big boob, ever heard of a snowman in the desert? And then she proceeded to knock the shit out of him.
Good old Catholic education going on right there.
Yeah, but he doesn't take us to the snowman and a nomad.
To this day, he knows exactly what a nomad is. All right. So
back to Mr. Thicke.
Is that what we were talking about?
Spankings and parenting, but we got off on Catholic school.
Well, I'm just saying that, kids today, they get off easy. That's why we have so many snowflakes.
Yeah.
That's why these kids, they have never had any kind of issues as far as, they've never been really parented. They've never been taken to task. They've been rewarded, and they get away with everything.
Well, a lot of it is, too. The schools have empowered these kids so much that a lot of parents are afraid to, like, even do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got a story for that one.
We do?
Oh, yeah.
Well, go ahead, tell.
West Defford Middle School, we allowed to use names? Reported a parent because a child came in with a mark on his face.
Oh.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, right?
I don't, but that's don't use any names.
And the kid got out of hand. The father slapped him, happened to have a ring on, left a mark. I believe it was a ring. And the kid they asked him what happened to his face. They told him. And the next thing you know, the parents were called into school, and there was a official or semi-official hearing, about hitting this kid and having a mark on him. He said, well, you can't tell me how to raise my kid, and, I'm going to still do the same thing, spank.
Right. And they took the kid away?
No, they didn't, but it was,
Yeah, because, my kids used to say, like, especially, my youngest.
Oh.
No, the youngest.
I'll call Dyfus on
Yeah.
you.
And I said, pack your bags. Pack your bags. I'll call for you.
Yep. I'll give you the number.
Here you go. Here's the number.
Look, Genghis, I tried that one time with Genghis. We didn't know it was called Dyfus, and we would just say, I'm going to call the child abuse people, or I'm going to call the police. So I had said that. I had said that to him, and next thing I know, he's taking his belt off. Well, I better give you something for you to tell him. And he whipped my ass with that belt. So,
Damn straight.
Yeah.
I looked this story up, or this subject up.
Oh, yeah?
And it's probably been 10 years now. If you were to interview 100 child psychologists, there's a split on it.
Right.
Half of them say spanking in a small amount, not abuse, is okay. And half are so against it.
Right.
But you're right. You said earlier it has to start at a 3-year-old.
Yeah, you just have to let them know that you're capable of it.
Right.
Because let me tell you something. If my father just looked like he was adjusting his belt,
Oh, yeah.
I would start straightening right
My
out.
mom used to walk around with the belt around her neck.
Mine too.
she was like a gunslinger.
Oh. And I say, John still didn't learn.
No, what I did was I fixed her. I took all my dad's belts and hid them. They had no belt. They couldn't find a
And
belt.
how did that go when your dad found out he had no belts?
Well, what are you kidding me? Well, how did that go?
Nuclear launch detected.
That's how that went.
That's how it went.
Yeah. Well,
What are you kidding me?
My mom's favorite tool of the trade was the fly swatter backwards, the old-fashioned.
the wire one?
Yeah, she would get you with that in the legs, the loop.
Yeah, that
by the-
stings.
Yep.
Yeah. So now this kid gets a little spanking, and they got the Dyfus is involved.
They're involved in too much.
I mean, this is ridiculous. And this is why we have kids the way they're hooked on drugs. They can't get a job. You can't get them out of the house.
Bringing guns to school.
They're bringing guns to school.
Why don't it do anything? I don't understand. Like my son, he was home today. He's 21 years old. He's got a car of his own. He's got 2 jobs.
Right.
And he goes to Canton County College, so there's...
Oh, the old alma mater. I see. He's a legacy.
Well, he just, yeah, he's a legacy, yeah. But he's just hanging around. It's just like, dude, there's like girls there, aren't there? I mean, you got a car of your own. You're hot, hip, and happening. You got money in your pocket to spend, and you're sitting at home, like watching, like
the story I told
football
about
games, and
like the story I told about the kid when they ripped the doors
the
off
cable dude. Yeah,
kid wants they ripped the doors off the elevator. The kid wants to climb the cable. Meanwhile, there's beautiful girls that are all drunk and everything. They're looking for something to do and somewhere to go and shit like that. This jackass wants to go and try to climb greasy cables and kill himself.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
I don't get it.
No, I don't get it.
When I got my car, I was rare. I got my driving license at 17 in New Jersey. That's the age. Bought a car when I graduated senior year in college, high school. Saved all my money up for 4 years. Bought a brand new car. I was never home.
No,
Ever. I was always out. Catting around, man. I was looking.
It's on the prowl.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Brand new car. He was the cat's meow there.
He was the cat's meow.
Yeah, we had
Well, not really, because
10-year-old
girls.
jokers.
Yeah, I didn't look that cool in an '83 Cavalier. It's not like I got a bitchin' Camaro or something like that.
I had a 1970 Maverick. The Dusty Maverick.
Yeah, 66 Plymouth Fury.
But you wish you had
Sport
that
Fury.
car back. My aunt had one.
Yeah.
Sport
The
Fury.
Fury 3 Sport
Yep.
Fury.
Bucket seats, air conditioning.
That's my aunt had the same year. She had a white one with a black vinyl top, black gut. They were sharp
Nobody
cars.
cares.
Yeah. you have the 318 or the 383?
What?
318.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say,
You
yeah.
fit 11 people in the trunk to go to drive-in movies. Yeah.
They were sharp cars.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't understand kids today. And I think this is part of it. I think that what happens is there's no discipline and there's no, hey, in our neighborhood, the neighbors could give you an ass whooping if you stepped out of line.
Well, I think they should still do that. I always said that you should get a license. You know how you get like a concealed carry license?
Yes.
I think they should administer a license to beat children. That way you're driving down the road, right?
You see somebody stepping out of line?
You see some kid like just acting up. He's doing something wrong. You pull over and you knock the shit out of Well, okay, you hit the kid a couple of times, but not knock the shit out of him. Okay? And then when the police show up, you say, hold on. Here you go, officer, and you hand over your license to beat children. And the cop says, well, everything appears to be in order here. Move along. And
just gave me the title for the episode, License to Beat Children.
Yeah, within one generation, we'll have well-respectable children.
Behaved children.
Yeah, like we used to have in the 60s.
That's right.
Until those goddamn hippies took over. So, pre-Beatles children.
Pot smoking.
Oh, boy.
But I mean, and you didn't dare tell your mother or father that, Mr. Smithers down the street hit you because, then you must have deserved it. So now I'm going to give you a beating.
Mr. Smithers got a call, found out what was going on, then you got it again.
No, they just took Mr. Smithers' word for it.
Oh, really?
Because, and now, like I said before, every beating that I got, I earned. I did too. I'm not going to deny it. I was an asshole. So I got a beating. But it wasn't abuse like they like to wave that word around now.
So, I feel sorry for this poor guy because he's now divorced. Mm-hmm. And now it's,
I think that picture that he took with the fan might have something to do with it, too.
Which fan are you talking about?
Wasn't it Thicke that had the picture? Someone took a picture of him with the fan. And he was grabbing her ass. Oh. But little did he know there was a mirror behind them. So you see his hand right there. And of course it gets published on and then the old lady saw I think it was Thicke.
That's probably why they got the divorce.
Yeah, you think? I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Use my powers of supposition on that one.
Damn social media.
I may be wrong. I may be wrong, but it was a pop star
John will look that up.
Yeah.
No, John's not looking that up. John don't give a shit.
Now that goes back to John and I volley back and forth about computers, laptops, iPhones. I had a relative post on Facebook today or yesterday or late last night. Is there an app where I can limit my child's time on the iPod, the iPad? Yeah, take it from them.
Yeah.
Everybody wants an app. Obviously, you're saying there's a problem. Your kids are spending too much time on it, which they are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I drive past Rowan University, and 90% of the kids coming out of class, I call them kids, they're 18 to 27.
Yeah, they're young adults.
They're walking with their heads down. Texting.
Oh, you'll run them over.
Yeah.
They're not paying
They don't pay
attention.
attention.
You know why he'll run them over? Because he's not paying attention in front of him. He's looking at all the kids looking at their phones.
No.
That's why.
But anyway, this relative posted on there asking for help with an app so that she can limit her two children's time on their social media type things.
Yeah.
And I thought, hey, just take it from them. How hard can it be?
I have a gun safe, and the best is for obvious reasons, but it was one of the best things to have because when my kid stepped out of line when he was a kid, I just got all the game controllers off of every game that he had and just locked it up in the gun safe. Now what are you going to do? There's no TV in his room.
Right.
No game system. The game systems were all downstairs. So I would just take anything that he was into, lock it all up in the gun safe. Now you're totally screwed. And then I used to make him copy down. I had this big, gigantic, thick book of saints. So I made him copy down all the saints' names. He got to the G's. So, over a period of time.
Really?
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, that's it.
Don't get me wrong. I love the new technology. There's so many things that are great. But to spend 14 hours a day on it, that's why we're having some of the problems.
Well, it's a distraction.
Yeah, well,
I find myself it's real easy to do because you're at home and you say, well, let me do something on the computer. And then you wind up getting distracted. And then the next thing you know, 3 or 4 hours went by and maybe I wanted to cut the grass or something. And it started raining. I was like, well, that's not going to happen now because I wasted all that goddamn time on Facebook. So.
Right. But again, it does make your life a lot easier.
What, Facebook or the lawnmower?
No.
Kids don't know what a lawnmower is today.
No, they don't. Yeah,
Which end to push?
they don't know. They don't really know how.
There's too many distractions, and I agree with Jimmy.
Well,
and to say that there's an app for that, no, you just say no.
There probably is. You can put it in timing.
Yeah, the app is saying no. You're absolutely right. Just say no. You're done.
Well,
take it.
My son was today, as we record, it's Martin Luther King Day, so everybody had off from school. So today I had my son. So he gets in the car and he goes, "Dad, do you know that they used to have back in the day, they used to have TV that didn't have cable?" I said, yeah, Dad had that. There was 4 channels on the VHS, or the
3 on VHF.
No, we had 12. 3, 6, 10, and 12.
Counted that.
That's a channel.
Yeah,
it was terrible back then.
Right.
3,
and
6,
then
10 were the major
right.
networks.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you had 17, 29, 48, and 57.
There was no 57.
Originally, no.
48. So you had the 3.
Yeah, 23 was the New Jersey PBS station. So I'll give you half credit for that.
All right. So I was so disadvantaged as a child. We didn't have UHF. Mm-hmm. We only had 3, 6, and 10.
Ultra high frequency for those of you under 30.
Right. And when you, as you knew, if you're as old as I am, that when you got home, all the cartoons in the afternoon were on the UHF channels on 17,
29, and 48.
So I couldn't
watch Ultraman.
Right. I couldn't watch that because I didn't have the.
Wasn't that just an extra antenna, right?
No, you had to have the channels on the TV. Remember, you had the big knob.
And then you had the little knob you could go, and Genghis would freak out. You're going to break it.
Yeah.
These kids wouldn't even know what to do. They have remotes, 4 remotes. Yeah, we had to get up. And
rabbit ears.
Yeah.
Well, during a thunderstorm, and we get all fuzzy and everything.
No, we had the big antenna up on the chimney.
Okay.
And a rotator.
Right, roof antenna,
we had
right.
a rotator.
Oh, yeah. He would be.
Well, that was high tech in the day. If you had a rotating roof antenna.
Oh, yeah. And on a really good day, you could get a New York channel.
Yeah, well.
PIX, WPIX in New York.
Yep.
And WOOR in New York. Channel 9 and Channel 11.
Boy, this guy, he's a book of knowledge with that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm quite useless, actually.
But so what would happen was, and then if your TV broke down, you didn't go get a new TV like you do now.
Oh, no. You got a repairman.
You took the TV out. No, you took the tubes out.
Well, if it was that easy, yeah.
And you went to the drugstore, and they had a vacuum tube tester.
Tube tester.
And you'd put the tubes in there and figure out which ones they were.
Up until about 7 or 8 years ago, I saw one of those tube testers. It's in that store in the Berlin Farmers Market. I mean, it was like they're still
there.
That tube tester store?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it still there, you're saying?
I don't know. I've been
up about 5 or 6 years ago, I was in there, and I couldn't believe that they still had it. But apparently the audio, the people that are really into like music and audio, that's the best clarity and everything that you can get is on tubes.
Well, what they do now is there's a big, just like anything else, there's people that are into restoring old radios. Mm-hmm. So, and they need the tubes. So they go around, and they try to find a tube tester, and they try to find these tubes and stuff like that.
You probably have some out in your garage. Our grandfather, John and mine, same grandfather, was a Mr. Fix-It. He fixed everything.
Right.
From dry cleaning equipment to cars to TVs. He had the box with the tube tester. He had one.
Wow. And then, so my father, he used to fix our TV, and he had that big giant walnut cabinet and everything. But he never, because, my father never finished the project, he would leave the back off the TV. So, and I guess, I don't know.
Truly a Buchanan trait, because my dad did the same thing.
Right. So, of course, me and my sister, we went back there and we said, "Oh, look at all these bright lights and everything." So then it took
humming.
I took a butter knife. And I said, I wonder what this does.
Now, there just happened to be a butter knife there, or you actually got up and
I was, let me tell you something. I might have been 5 years old. I might have been 5. My sister
Who leaves a butter knife next to an open television?
That's probably how he took the screws off.
I'll be honest with you. It was probably how my dad, or maybe it was a screwdriver. I don't know. But anyhow.
Was he eating toast while he was working on it?
I don't have a screwdriver. Give me a butter knife.
Buttering his toast.
So that was it. So then we had to actually have a real TV repairman come out. And they said, look, see this? He touched this. The TV's done. You got to get a new TV. It's done.
Oh, did you get an ass whooping for that?
I don't think so. Because then he said, here's the other thing. They said, well, if he would have touched that, he would have killed both of them. So there I go. I'm really lucky.
You got a break there.
You got a break.
I
I wouldn't be
looking
here
out for
today.
you.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it, because now everything's disposable. Whenever I go and buy a television or a stereo or whatever, and you go to Best Buy or wherever you're going to buy, and they want to sell you they make their money on the warranties. That's where they make their money.
Oh, there's warranties.
And they hate it when I go in there, because they say, okay, and would you like to buy the extended care package for another $199 and it's good for 3 years? No. Oh, well, it's, you really should have that. I says, why? Is this a piece of shit? Well, no, it's not a piece of shit. But when you look, this is disposable. Don't you understand? This television set just cost me $300. If I get 3 years out of it, if I divide that by day, if I divide 1,000 days into $300, it costs me nothing. I'm just going to spend another $300 to get a disposable television set.
Exactly.
That's it.
That brings up another question. Why were TVs $2,000 and $5,000 about 12 years ago?
Because the technology.
Well, when they're new, when they first come out, the first people that buy that stuff, they're the ones that funded the research, and then it gets competition.
Okay, that's what
and
I
it gets
figured.
cheaper.
But I mean, you can buy a really nice TV for $500.
Yeah. Well, and then not only that, but like the new state of the art what's it now? 4K TV.
Yeah.
You know, they're up there. They're the same price. Same thing with computers. You can go and buy the top of the line computer and spend $2,500, or you can do what you do.
Remember
and go over and buy one for $300.
Remember Crazy Eddie? His fucking prices are insane.
They're insane. Yeah.
Well, I went to Cherry Hill and Don got. Oh, by the way, today's Don's birthday. Happy birthday!
You know who else's birthday it is today? Jessica Kupperman, my co-host from Off in the Weeds. It's her birthday
to
today.
Jess.
Happy birthday, Jess.
Yeah, I texted Don this morning. I did. And wished him happy birthday. But anyway, with the Crazy Eddies, and this was Don got a CD player. I think he was the first one to get one when CD players came out. And I went to Crazy Eddies, so it had to be like 1984, 85. And I spent $1,700 on a rack system. You say rack system nowadays, nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
No.
Right.
But it was like the graphic equalizer, the amplifier, the turntable, the dual
tuner.
cassette deck. Right.
Jimmy's brother knows all about the rack system.
Oh, yeah, he had one.
He had one.
But
He
that
probably
was
still has one.
He was called the DJ. It's funny because you were the real DJ. You
I was
actually
the real
but His
DJ.
nickname was the DJ, and he
The
had
DJ.
huge speakers. He took it to everybody's party.
He'd back up the van, put everything in there.
Talk about a ton of money. You're talking about like televisions costing a lot. My father's oldest brother, his name was Carmen, and he was known as kind of like a pain in the ass, really. Okay. And Gankers was like, Uncle Carmen tortured Grandpa, and just like so. In like 1952. My grandfather bought a television set, and in 1952, it was $500.
Yeah.
That was a ton. That was like probably half a year's salary probably back then.
There we go.
Our grandfather had the very first TV in National Park, New Jersey.
Really?
And there was a big fight on the TV, and my grandfather, being the thrifty person that he was,
charged admission?
He rented the TV to the bar so the bar could have it. And
I'm not sure of that story. I think the bar wanted to rent it. For $200 even back then, and we're talking in the 40s.
And that's a lot of money.
And it had to be a big fight, so we had to check that out sometime. But it
probably
lasted
Rocky.
one round, so he would have got his money up front, and he wanted to have his friends at the house. And the story I got,
maybe you're right.
But he would have been pretty thrifty. Normally he would have, but for some reason he had this brand new TV, and he didn't want to take it out.
Yeah,
and the fight lasted one round.
That was a ton of money back then.
Sure.
Could you imagine spending $500 in 1952?
Yeah,
I mean, you probably made $30 a week then.
Yeah. What did your dad say that he used to get paid at the A&P? Remember the A&P?
Yeah, Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company.
43.5 cents an hour. I don't know how they did a half, but they did. I guess they rounded
43.5 cents an hour.
Yeah. Well, with an 8-hour day, it would even out. That's probably
if you
why.
worked odd hours.
Then you're screwed. Then you got to get paid 2.5 cents.
Get the cutters out. Cut that penny in half.
Cut that penny in half, and if you somewhere there's a bunch of half pennies. Oh, here you go. Here's a half penny.
That's good for go.
Yeah, 42.5 cents an hour. So $200. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, my aunt and uncle, they were the first ones that I knew that they had a top-loading VHS video recorder system. They got it in 1976.
Right.
Thing must have weighed about 50 pounds. No bullshit, because it was all steel. No, not the camera. I mean the actual player. It was probably like double the size of this computer, top loader. They paid $1,300 for that, and that was on sale.
Well,
that's a lot of money, man. That's
my buddy Dave. His father had the first one. Now his father was a longshoreman. I think that one fell off the back of a truck.
Yeah, you think?
I'm not sure. I think that fell off the back of the truck.
And if it didn't fall off the truck, longshoreman made good do-re-mi, so he could afford it.
So he had one. Yeah, so he had one. They were the very first one. They had the tape, and you could tape the show, and then go back and watch it later. And that was like the big. Oh, guess what? We taped Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
We're gonna come on over. We're gonna watch Johnny Carson at 4:00 in the afternoon. Yeah. What about Kimba? I want to watch
Kimba the White Lion's on. What the hell? Marine Boy's on after that. I mean, come on, let's go.
Okay, and I digress. As you say,
what?
As he always says, I digress.
Oh,
that's my catch. That's one of my crutch words.
Yeah, John's doctor, I hear. Listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
there'll be no drinking of shots. For
no drinking of
so
shots.
Deuce has a beer.
Yeah, well, I have to have a beer. I'll die.
And John, I'm not drinking anything. And Jimmy brought some kind of tea, coffee.
And I thought that's what I actually hung up on you on the way here, and I thought you were saying grab me a coffee. I thought.
No, I just see you didn't, you prick. But no,
wow, a little strong.
I offer all the time. He says no. He doesn't like Wawa.
I'll drink Wawa coffee.
Does John sandbag you all the time?
A little bit,
like he does to me.
It's okay.
Like he lures you in with like a carrot, and then the next thing you know, you're
slammed your head.
Yeah, you're like, where did this come from? You're just like, I thought we were going to do a podcast.
Listen to me. It's my first day, and I'm saying.
Then you get those passive aggressive, like, well, you people.
I know about that.
If you're not lockstep in the right direction, like, wow, Jesus Christ! I just thought I was voting.
Oh God! Now that really brings it. What are you doing Friday?
Oh, I'm going to be watching the inauguration.
Oh, you're not going?
I'm off today.
I thought you were going Friday.
No, I would like to go, but I have to go to work the next day.
That's going to be a dumpster fire.
Nah, it's going to be
You don't
awesome.
think so?
It's going to be awesome. If it's a dumpster fire,
it'll still be awesome.
It's because of your people on the left.
I'm not from the left.
Don't you think he's a lefty?
He says he's in the middle.
Yeah,
I am in the middle.
What he says and what he does.
That's not true. To be honest with you, it's not.
He's in the middle.
To be honest with you, Crutchword, have a shot.
To be honest, there you go. Yeah. Back in the day.
In the day.
You say that, but
okay. So here's what I know that's going on. All right. Right now, they have Bikers for Trump. They're going down. They're having a rally.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of anti-Trump rallies going on at the same time.
Yeah, they have nothing to do because they're unemployed.
Okay. Then they have the people for marijuana. They're there giving out 4,200 joints. They're going to be giving 4,200 joints out to promote the legalization of marijuana.
Okay, that's not a wise idea to do in a district where it's currently illegal.
No. It's illegal to possess marijuana in small amounts. It's illegal to smoke it. You can have it. You just can't smoke it.
You said it backwards. You said it's illegal. It's legal to have it in small amounts.
Right.
You just can't.
You just can't.
You said it the other way.
All right. I apologize.
That makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Well, Washington has a day, or used to have a day, where they cordon off an area and people would smoke, and you could look it up because that's your thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's your stick.
That's Jimmy's thing. Look it up on the Google.
Yeah.
Google that.
No.
He'll call me. I'll get the thing with the Jimmy.
But have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
There's a day where they cordon off.
Oh
an area,
yeah, there's a day
and
for
they go down there and they
everything.
all get high in the Capitol. But,
yeah, they try to do their little thing and everything.
That's how things work around.
I'm excited about it just because of how upset you and your people are.
I'm not upset.
Your people. He doesn't like that. You people. Your people.
To be honest with you, I mean,
Crutchword.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing, Crutchword.
I won't be able to talk.
Stop. Let him get it in.
Every time in the morning around 6:30 or 7 o'clock, I always go on Twitter to see what the Donald's doing because he's in there taking a shit and he's on Twitter. He's on his phone and he's tweeting. He's always pissed off tweeting about something. Today he must have slept in late because he didn't tweet till 10:30. So I guess he's off for Martin Luther King Day. I don't know.
He's probably busy.
Yeah, I would imagine he's got a lot of things going on right now.
He's got a full thing going on there.
Yeah,
full boat.
yeah. Well, and then I don't know who's going to be. Toby Keith is going to perform, but there's not that many people that are performing at this gala.
Yeah, but in the end, who cares?
And then here's the other thing. I guess that's got to be a crutch word too. Here's the other thing. Obama, now he's the second coming of Christ that he's leaving. Oh, well, when you got Donald Trump coming in, he does look like the second.
Well, he's
coming.
never going to go away because he's too much of a narcissist.
Okay, so
he's never going away.
But everybody's guffawing over him. Oh.
I think it's great because 2 years from now, that's more seats that the Republicans win in the Senate because this guy's totally undermined his whole party. He destroyed it.
Who?
Obama.
He destroyed it, or did Hillary?
Look at all the seats that they lost.
Well, that's because of Hillary, to be quite honest with you.
In the last 8 years, how many seats they lost?
I have no idea.
In the Senate, in the House of Representatives, governorship, state legislators.
And you think it's because of him? Well, I think it's more for
because he looks pretty good because he doesn't do anything. He's like a Donna do nothing, basically.
Right.
But I mean, the rest of the people that followed his lead because he's the titular head of the Democratic Party.
Well, here's my big thing.
Right now, do you know how many states the Democrats control governorships and state legislators in the country? And I'll help you out. There's 50 states.
I know there's 50 states. Don't you talk down to me, you cocksucker.
I'm going to be like Verizon.
Don't you talk down to me. I know there's 50 states.
Okay.
How many? Because you've obviously looked at it.
No.
You obviously get the Republican newsletter.
No, take a guess.
I would say out of 50, 35.
You are wrong. They control 4.
What?
Wow.
That's all they control is 4.
Republicans.
No, Democrats.
Oh.
Out of the 50 states,
okay,
in governorships and state legislatures, they control 4 states.
Well, New Jersey's one of them.
No, we got a Republican governor.
Oh, that's right. We do, don't we? That's right.
Yeah. He's a rhino.
Yeah,
but
Republican in name
I
only.
can see where you make that error. But
yeah,
no,
okay.
But he's done that. I mean, between Bug-Eye Nancy Pelosi and Obama with that real far left, But
mentality. Everybody's mad at Donald Trump. And everybody, well, first of all, you two are racist. You're racist.
Oh,
racist,
no way.
Yeah.
Oh, you are.
I know why you say it, because we voted for Trump.
Because you're white guys that voted for Trump. And if you're a white guy and you voted for Trump, you're a racist.
This is how he sandbags you.
Yeah.
No,
don't buy into it, Jimmy.
Let me finish my sentence.
Let him get it out. Well, let me ask you this.
I guess I'm not finishing that sentence, but go ahead.
It's almost the same amount of people that
get up on that microphone
8 years
buddy.
ago.
There we go.
Were totally upset with the outcome, and now 8 years later, you have the same half are upset.
The other half's upset,
right?
But the first half didn't burn things and rape and pillage, so that's the difference. Because we have jobs. So, the other half doesn't. They have nothing to do and all day to do it, and so let's go to Washington and protest.
I think I threw something up there today.
Go ahead. I interrupted you. Get back on that stick. Let's finish that out.
All right. So I threw up something today on Facebook about the tweet that Donald had, and someone put on there. Maybe it was a story about the bikers. They're going to be there, and I said, "This, this is going to be." And they said, "Oh, I don't see any. I see all white guys. So they must be KKK. They must be racist." I go, nothing like jumping to one hell of a conclusion there. Mm-hmm. Just because a white guy voted for Trump doesn't make him a racist. There you go. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And number two. Don't be mad at Donald Trump and the people that voted for Donald Trump. First of all, if the Democrats could have put up somebody that was actually that people could actually vote for,
you actually hit the nail right on the head there because she made it so obvious over the last decade that she wanted to run that I wonder how many more palatable Democrats just didn't run because they didn't want to cross the Clintons.
No, that's exactly
because
what happens when you cross the Clintons, John?
What happens?
You tend to push up daisies. That's
that's what happens.
Twice in the back of the head.
Yeah. Oh, did you know what happened to so-and-so? No, what? Oh, he accidentally cut his head off while shaving.
Or shot himself twice.
Yeah, in the back of the head at a weird angle.
Well, actually, because she didn't win, it's a shame, but she had an actual song that she was going to play during her inauguration when she walked out.
You are a cunt. Said and true, but me tell you, motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt, motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to toes, you're a big fat stinking cunt.
We just lost all women listeners.
That's by Catnick Snatch. That's a performer that does that. And
is it really?
And the reason I know that is because me and another girl at work play that in reference to another girl at work.
You are a cunt.
It's kind of snappy, isn't it?
It's a very amusing video. If you check it out on YouTube, it's a sing-along thing. It's the performer is Catnick Snatch. She's an Australian girl, very cute.
So I got to tell you a story. So yesterday, I'm trying to get all, or actually it was Sunday. Yeah, yesterday was Sunday. Trying to get all this stuff together. So I had to bring the desk down and everything. So I've got my family. All the kids came over.
Slave driving
John came over. So everybody came over, and we disassembled everything that was upstairs, and we brought it downstairs. So I get all the wires hooked up and everything, and get the microphones hooked up. And I get my girls on here. One's sitting there, and they're talking. We're doing testing. We're testing the mics and everything. So I had the iPad because I wanted to test out your thing for your computer so we could play the sound effects. So I said to Jesse, go on YouTube and just get a video up and play the video. And what does my 15-year-old daughter play?
She put Cat McSnatch.
And she thought I was going to be so upset about that. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's the best thing I've ever heard.
She has a lot of funny videos like that.
Oh, it's hysterical.
Did you watch the actual video for that?
No.
Check. It's a sing-along. You'll pinch yourself laughing. I'm telling you, it's funny as shit.
Yeah, there is. I just actually grabbed the chorus. There is. It's a full song. But,
yeah. It's like 3 minutes long.
Right.
I try to be real nice. Say it twice. Be real nice. It's awesome.
You are a cunt.
Boy, so anyhow, but yes. So let's get back to another story.
Cool.
What story are we going to next, Deuce?
How about pitbull fucking?
Do we want to go to pitbull fucking?
Yeah,
all right, let's go to pitbull. Why don't you read that? Because you do such a great job of reading.
Don't butter my bread. You're just
guys. No way. I want to try to read this fucking story again.
Hold on. Let me close. You can see now it'll be your turn to run the stopwatch. See, I'm so used to having a mouse.
I was going to give you a mouse.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd be bold.
You're wasting everybody's time.
Yep. Tick, 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 tick.
To go where no man has gone before.
Where's the link at? Oh, there we go. Okay, this story. John,
wait. First of all, if you go to the card, it's right underneath the guy's picture. Is the whole story?
I've got
right there. Oh, you said link. Where's the link? You don't need the link.
Yeah, well, I got it.
Okay.
Don't break my balls.
Gotta whip you guys into shape.
John dug this one up. It's Florida man accused of repeatedly sexually assaulting a pit bull. It says the subtitle: a roommate tells police she estimates he abused the family dog 100 times. And where does this? This comes off the Huffington Post. So
not too left for you.
Yeah, a little too far left for me.
Let me tell you something.
A man in Pensacola, Florida, is charged in the repeated sexual assault of a pit bull over about 3.5 years. Bradley Gene Hubbard, 23, was arrested Monday after a roommate accused him of assaulting his family dog, Baby Girl, according to the Pensacola News-Journal. The accuser told police she estimated she had seen Hubbard take the dog to his bedroom for sexual abuse at least 100 times. She claimed she witnessed Hubbard assault the dog when she looked through a hole in his door that had been caused by a violent outburst.
Captain Obvious!
The witness also said she heard the dog cry out in pain during episodes that she said escalated during 2016. She told police Hubbard brushed off questions by saying the victimized animal was in heat, according to 11alive.com. So I guess the dog wanted it. So.
People are fascinating.
Hubbard's roommate told officers she didn't report it earlier because she did not want to get Hubbard in trouble, according to WEAR-TV. The accuser said when Hubbard took the dog from her room on December 28th and then appeared to be abusing it in his room. How do you appear to be abusing it?
Yes. Well, I would say you open up the door and the guy's standing behind it making forward thrusting motions with his pants around his ankles. But that's just me. I don't know.
It was then that she decided to contact the police, according to the TV station. The dog was taken to a veterinarian for tests, according to the Pensacola News-Journal. Look, they got everyone involved in this. They got TV, Pensacola News. It's like it reportedly showed signs of abuse, and the police report said the dog is very aggressive. Poor Dino. Hubbard was charged with engaging in sexual contact with an animal and causing death, pain, or suffering to an animal. He was released Wednesday on $15,000 bond, which means he only had to put up $1,500 if it's the usual 10%. So this guy's out walking among us, and he's doing court on Groundhog's Day, February the 2nd.
Now, here's the real tragedy of this whole story is that the dog was so aggressive after all this nonsense that they actually had to euthanize the dog.
Did they?
Yes.
Where's that say that?
It doesn't say. I saw it in another story.
Okay.
But
that's a shame.
Actually, I caught it in the comments. There's a bunch of comments.
Someone down there must have followed up on it.
Someone followed up on it. But, yeah, so this guy here.
What's going through your head when you say, you know what?
I can't get chicks, and I'm horny.
Yeah.
And this dog looks like, I can't. How do you even think that to justify this?
No,
how does that work?
You can't.
No.
And the roommate, to allow it to go on.
Yeah, why isn't she in jail?
Yeah, 100 times. 99 was all right. But
I wouldn't be surprised if
Jimmy,
she's brought in on some kind of ancillary charges because she just said,
Allowed.
"Well, I saw it 100 times, so why didn't you say something?"
Maybe don't you think they're exaggerating? She says, "Listen, I'll tell you what.
Well,
if
she
that
saw it
guy
before.
fucks this dog 100 times.
One more time.
So I've been counting.
That's my
And
line
when
in the sand.
Yeah, the line is when this dog gets fucked for the 100th time, I'm calling the cops.
Yeah,
I'm wondering why the dog never turned around and bit him.
Maybe he's muzzled him.
Maybe
he's muzzled him. I don't know.
thought.
I don't know. Let me just tell you something. This guy's pretty brave.
Yeah, he picked the wrong breed. He's lucky.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that.
Yeah, you're kind of exposed. I mean, your junk's all hanging out there. If that
Right,
dog,
there's too
if
much.
that dog's not muzzled,
He
I mean,
turns around.
he spins around, and you're singing soprano. It's just. And we should never, far be it for John and I and Jimmy to, judge a book by its cover. But you got to see this dude. The part that we recorded that we thought we were recording earlier. This guy looks like a Civil War reenactor for the Confederacy. He's got the Stonewall Jackson beard going on and the slick back wet dew, and
Yeah, it's kind of like a mullet. He's got a mullet going on there.
I don't know if it's a mullet because it looks like he's shaved on the side,
Shaved
but
on
the
the
tops
side.
he's got like a rooster comb going.
Yeah, he looks like a dog fucker.
Yeah.
Should I put a picture of him in the show notes?
Well, why not? Yeah, why not?
Well, it's already on the
Yeah.
media, so it's not like you're doing anything
Oh,
wrong,
well, that's
but-
true. If I link to the article,
Yeah, Michael.
if you want to read
Corleone
about this
did
dog fucker, just go to the show notes at brandxpodcast.com.
And like the Jimmy said, I mean, out of all the dogs that you
Hang
could
on,
pick,
let me say the link first.
Okay.
Brandx.com. Brandx.com/033. That's the link if you want to take a look at this guy. All right, go ahead.
I forgot. Nah,
The breed.
it's like the Jimmy said. If you were going to choose any dog to do that, why would you pick a pit
That's
bull?
what I said. But then again,
What did they go
okay,
like?
so what is the friendliest breed to go fuck? That's what I'd like to know.
Well, I'm
What
not-
would you, a Labrador Retriever?
I don't even want to elaborate on that because I don't want anybody to think we would even think
Well,
that way. but
okay,
yeah.
let's just say right now we're just decided.
Well,
that,
I'm just
okay,
saying because they're pretty muscular, big dogs.
I certainly do agree with
They
you.
go
there.
about what, $1.50?
All
Something?
right, but we're
70 to 100. And,
sometimes, somewhere around.
You get a
there.
big male. Well, this was a female dog, but
All right. At least he's not. Hello. Well, at least he's not a homo, right?
Yeah,
He went for a female dog.
yeah.
And we, let's put,
if there's
put
any
this
sense.
disclaimer out there that none of us condone this type of behavior
Of
at all.
course not.
Yeah.
But it's in the news, so John picked it.
All right, John picked it. Okay. So which dog do you think? All right. So it's been a long time.
Dalmatians are right out. I'll tell you that.
They're another one. They're crazy because they're bred too tight.
I had one bit me in the nose.
Right?
So,
German
well, you know why
Shepherd?
they're that?
No.
No. Well,
No.
you know why Dalmatians are so high strung? I didn't know this. You know why the fire department always picked them to be the mascots?
No.
A friend of mine is in the Dalmatians, and most of them are deaf.
Yeah. You know why?
Hybrid, inbred.
They're inbred.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Their family
maybe,
tree looks like a cornstalk.
Maybe that's true, but that's why they used to use.
That's exactly why.
Well,
because
you're-
they want to get because
So
they
the
bring it
siren
back into
wouldn't
it.
That I didn't know, but that's why fire departments always picked them because they didn't get shook up by the bells and the sirens and the clanging and all that stuff. They would just sit there like them and the Budweiser dog on the wagon.
Well, let me just say something because we talked a little earlier that I used to raise beagles for rabbit hunting. So we used to do, we used to have breeding. We would breed the dogs. I didn't personally breed the dogs. I'm not like our buddy here, Bradley Hubbard.
Okay.
But I would throw a male in with a female. And so what we did was you actually learned a little bit about genetics.
Play him a little Barry White.
Little boy, you'll never find.
The panties just fall off the women when you play the Barry White.
So,
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you what I got to. So let me finish the story. So then you would breed the dogs. And they would, and then they would have the puppies and everything. So what you would do is you would try to find, if you had a good hunting dog, a good male and a good female, you would try to breed them back. And then what you would do is you would breed back the cousins to try to keep the lineage, the genetic lineage, the same, so that you would get the same good dogs. So they used to say, the only inbreeding there is a mother, son, father, daughter, brother, sister. Any other is what we call a tight line breed dog.
Now, see, this is fascinating because I didn't know Crime and Cocktails also did dog breeding.
Most of the people that I would hunt with had that kind of accent. So, yes. They would, I'll never forget this. I can't believe I'm going to tell this story.
South of the Mason-Dixon line, I think.
Speaking about raping dogs.
Oh, yeah, God. Because it just pops up in everyday conversation.
Well, we're talking about a guy that's raping a dog.
You're like, oh, speaking of rain tomorrow.
Speaking of raping
dogs.
So I'm learning how to train beagles to hunt. And I got into a beagle club, a dog club. Mm-hmm. And they used to have a 55 acres you could go down, and it was fenced in, and you could run your dogs down there. And they could.
What was that, Delaware, Maryland you went
It was
to?
down in Batstow.
Oh, okay, that end,
Okay. So the one guy says, oh, yeah, I'm going to take my Staley dog. I'm going to take my Staley dog. No, it wasn't Staley dog. What was that dog's name? Anyhow, I'm going to take my male dog, and we're going to breed it to a guy from Virginia. So what would happen is you would get 350. If you were going to stud your male to a female, you would either get a pick of the litter or what a pup would cost, which was $350.
Okay.
So the guy says, I'll take the $350. Says, you want to go with me? I'm like, what the hell? So we get in the truck, dog's in the back. I think the dog's name was Staley. So we get in the truck, we drive down to Virginia, but we don't go all the way to Virginia. We end up in Maryland in like a rest stop. You pull over, not like where you can go in and get like a hot dog or whatever and a map.
You went to the kind of rest stop where like homosexuals are generally cruising for coffee?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's exactly what we went to. One of those. Yeah. So we pull in. He says, he's supposed to meet us here. So I'm like, okay. So I sit there and I'm like, all right. So then the guy shows up and he's got a dog and, the other dog and his dog's in heat. So we had to go right then. So she's in heat. So I'm thinking to myself, yeah, so you know what happened? The dogs have a couple cocktails, little Barry White, you'll never find, dun, 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 dun. No, they put the dogs in the back of a pickup truck with a cap, and they let them in there. Well, I'll tell you what, this female, she didn't want any of him. Right. She didn't want any, she was like growling at him and everything like that. So they grabbed the dog, the female dog, held her down, and pushed this male dog up. It was a raping. It was an actual raping.
So you were an enabler.
Yes.
I didn't do
a witness. Just a witness.
I was just a witness. I wasn't getting anywhere near those dogs. But they did.
Wow.
That's what they did. And they just held the dogs over there. He's like, okay, here we go. Yeah.
Did they give the dog cigarettes at least afterwards?
Let me tell you something. I was a little traumatized by that, to be honest with you.
You'd never seen a rape before.
I've never seen a dog rape before. And it's like no big deal. These guys is like, oh, yeah, okay, well you know
what?
They're
talking about football and shit while it's going on.
They're holding the dog and trying to get it. Come on, Staley, get it in there, boy. Get it up in there.
And just about when we're finished, up pulls a state trooper.
No.
And he says, what are you two doing? We're just breeding. Oh, okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, business as usual here in Maryland. Carry on.
Yeah. So he gives them an envelope with $350 in it. We get back and we leave. And we go, we stopped at like a Waffle House and got something to eat. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Was John Curry there?
No, John Curry was not there that I know of. But
because he likes to waffle.
Oh, I find it hard to believe that you actually even put on a left shoe. To be quite honest with you,
I put that on last.
There you go.
Right sock, left sock, right shoe, left shoe.
I can't even. I figure you would put on two right shoes. To be quite honest,
if I could get away with it, not have any discomfort at work, I would do it in a heartbeat.
So yeah, there's a lot of that stuff going on, especially in the breeding. But I don't think they. I don't know. That was the first time I've ever seen that.
Goes on with all kinds of stuff. Like I don't know about horses because that's kind of a mighty animal to like fart around with. But
now don't they do that artificially or no?
No, you can't do it with horses because. You can't do it with horses because there's some kind of rule against it. You can't artificially inseminate them.
Really?
Yeah. You cannot do that. Or the horse is not It's not illegal breeding. The horse actually
condoned.
Right,
Okay,
because the horse actually has to mount the other
Right.
horse. Because if not, then it's I don't know. They don't allow it, because if the horse breaks its back leg and can't get it up on there, like remember that horse that broke its leg,
Smarty Jones,
whatever one, I forget the name of it. It was coming down the stretch and it actually broke its leg right on the track.
Everyone made a big deal out of it for like a year.
Right,
they felt worse for that horse than
Okay,
humans.
so what they did was they tried to get the horse,
name,
and it didn't. Whatever they didn't work. So they had to put the horse down. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you know what they're doing? They got his cast on this thing, and there's like 3 guys in there jerking this thing off until they get like a quart of baby batter, and they're going to be shooting this in with a syringe into these other horses. And they said no, they can't do that. If the horse can't get up and mount the horse properly, then they can't. It's not illegal.
Was it Smarty Jones? Was that the name? Of
No,
that
Babylon or Babarone or
Barbarossa, something like that. Yeah, you're right. It was something.
Everybo's screaming at their podcast catcher, telling us the Babylone, Baba Louie. Wasn't it Baba Booey?
No, I don't know, man. It's just like, but
so
that's a whole nother. But yeah, I'm sure that crap probably goes on the farm, that like with goats and pigs, and who knows.
Yeah, that's why they say that sheep herders wear big boots so they can take the back feet of the goat.
I knew he was going. I just knew he was going. Yeah,
they can't get away.
And you take them to a cliff so they can only back up, right?
I didn't hear that one, Jimmy. Where'd you get that one from? Where did that come from?
I heard that somewhere.
I'm sure you did. What are you reading? It was on the internets.
Interweb. Yeah, that interweb.
It was on the interwebs.
I hear there's rumors on the internets
about the dog fucking.
There's everything is on the interwebs.
Yeah, again, like I said, you should, as a public service announcement from us here at Brand X Podcast, don't fuck your dogs. It really breaks their spirit. Don't do that. All right, Deuce.
Why would you want to?
I don't know.
I don't have an answer
see
what this guy ends up
doing.
Punishment.
Yeah. I'll bet you a lot of the prisoners lump him up when he's in jail, if he does go to jail. He's
out
out on bail now, but
anybody that fucks a pit bull, I don't know if I'd mess with him.
he's probably a short little shit. He's probably like 5'3".
You think?
And angry. He's got like little man syndrome. He's very angry and shit.
When they first said, man rapes pit bull, I thought they were talking about the rapper pit bull.
Yeah.
But no, it was actual dog. All right, Deuce, we got to pour one out. You know who we're pouring one out for?
They're dropping like flies.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Yep.
Oh, PETA will be so happy.
They will be happy. Matter of fact, that's one of the stories here, because they are. Am I doing this one?
Good.
Well, after nearly a century and a half, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus plans to shut down the greatest show on earth. The historic American spectacular will deliver its final show May, says Kenneth Feld, chairman and CEO of Feld Entertainment and the producer of Ringling. Feld announced the news on the company's website Saturday night, citing declining ticket sales, which dipped even lower as the company retired its touring elephants. So what happened was, and it happened to the circus that came over here.
Cirque du Soleil.
It was Coles Brothers used to actually right in the field next door. They used to have.
Yeah, they used to go over. They used to go to the Echelon Mall back in the day, also.
Okay, so they're done. They're doing it. So what happens is, and I got into a big argument with a lady on Facebook about she was protesting. Don't go to Coles Circus. I'm like, lady, shut up.
Yeah.
With the don't. Oh, they treat those elephants terrible. Really? Well, don't go to Florida with a pit bull, because they really treat them bad. So they stopped with the elephants. But then again, I got to say, I mean, with all the entertainment that's available to us, concerts, all the stuff that's going on. I mean, how many times are you going to go to the circus? And really, is it that big of a deal? Well, and what do they really have?
Well, before the Jimmy got here, we were talking about this, what we were going to go over. And when this story broke yesterday, and I told Diane, the Queen of Dilly Dally, that's
Deuce's wife,
the Queen of Dilly Dally. And I said, well, yeah, now that you can't whip the shit out of bears and elephants to make them do tricks, what are you going to go to the circus for? To see creepy, scary clowns? Like, that's all that there is. The trapeze guys were kind of cool. Yeah, they were neat. But the kids go. You take kids there because kids like animals.
And you got to realize he said 150 years. So 150 years ago, entertainment was quite different.
Yeah, it's a whole.
It was a huge thing for the circus to come to town. They came by train.
Yeah.
And
Set
they
up
marched
stakes
through
in the
town.
middle of the field.
Right.
There wasn't even really cars back then.
No, it was all done by, like Jimmy said, they came by train.
Right.
And then they marched.
Throw hay in the field. They put up those big giant tents.
It's amazing how fast they can put those tents up and take those tents down. They would do it here, in this field, right next to this house. And you'd hear them all pulling in, and then you'd wake up in the morning, and there would be a circus there. And it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, they'd pull in, and you'd wake up around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and the tents were up, and everything was amazing.
Of course, in Philly, it was a mess because they would do it in the Spectrum. And,
Right.
And then later on, the course, when the Spectrum was still standing, one year it was a mess. The Flyers or the Sixers were in the playoffs. So the Core State Center, or whatever it's called now.
Right. The
Wells Fargo Center
Fargo,
now. Wells
Wachovia.
Fargo now. Yeah, it's been 4 stadiums in 10 years. So Wells Fargo was full with like Flyers or Sixers, whatever was going on there. Citizens Bank Park had something going on with the Phillies. The Phillies were playing someone. And then the Spectrum had the circus in there. So I didn't know any of this. I'm coming home. I'm on the Schuylkill Expressway. It took me like 4 hours to crawl down the Schuylkill Expressway and get over to Walt Whitman Bridge to come home. I didn't know the circus.
I thought you were going to tell me a circus story. You used to tell me you just got stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
I was going to let down.
But no, yeah. So
I was all flutter. I thought you were going to. Yeah, I was always.
Well, it is inadvertently a circus story because then it was like what you had to do is now everyone gets by and they see all the box cars from the trucks and everything that the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey circuses came with, and they're slowing down and they're looking at the carts. I'm like, what are you going to see? There's nothing. It's a truck. Keep your eyes on the goddamn
Keep
road.
moving.
Let's go. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Let's go. Someone's at the piss. Let's go.
Come on, let's go.
But yeah, I mean, entertainment was different all those years ago. It was just,
And nobody likes clowns anymore.
yeah. I mean,
They had to
Everybody
ruin
hates clowns.
Yeah.
So
I
really,
never
what the heck?
disliked them. They never scared me, but I wasn't really into them.
Yeah, they're
It's just like,
stinky,
yeah, there's a
smelly.
clown. There's a-
Yes, nothing face painted.
Have you talked to the clowns? Like
No.
the people that are like in the clowns, like they get offended and they're upset that they have this like negative image of like,
Right.
They'll blame Stephen King. It's like,
Right.
I
Well,
don't think Stephen King just picked up on something that was already out there. I mean,
I agree with that too. So anyhow, PETA, they're all aflutter because they feel that they're going to take. They're like ISIS. They're taking responsibility for this shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
As of May, the saddest show on earth for wild animals will end. 36 years of PETA protests of documenting animals left to die, meat animals, and so much more have reduced attendance to the point of no return. All other animal circuses, roadside zoos, and wild animal exhibitors, including Maine amusement parks like SeaWorld, marine amusement parks like SeaWorld. Was that
what was
me?
that?
That's me.
The Johnny.
I forgot to turn my things off.
Amateur.
Miami Sea Aquarium must take note. Society is changing. Eyes have been opened. People know who these animals are, and we know it's wrong to capture and exploit them. Thank you to everyone who's picked up a protest sign and passed out leaflets, written letters, shared videos, called legislators, spoken to families, and have been part of this relentless pursuit of freedom for animals. This would have not happened without you.
Yeah, I have been.
You are a cunt. If that's thinking cunt. Said and true, but it tell you you're motherfucking cunt. You are a cunt. Motherfucking cunt. Everybody knows from your head to toes you're a big fat stinking cunt.
You know what I'm going to do, PETA? Just to celebrate the fact that you have got the circus, because you're taking responsibility for this. You know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go get myself a big giant steak and cook that thing up and eat it. That's right.
What? No bacon?
Oh, yeah. Why don't we put some bacon on top?
Because I have to have meat with my meat.
Right.
Gravy,
Yes.
some side of chicken.
Yeah. Eggs. Yeah. Go ahead. You be your vegan.
That's more steak for me.
That's right. You know what they're trying to do now? They're trying to get rid of the meat by saying the cows produce so much methane gas.
Well, in California, they're trying to regulate that.
Right. That they're farting and burping. Cows are farting and burping so much that the methane gas is actually causing global warming.
Yeah. Well,
Jimmy wants to say something. Here we go.
I don't know about that, but, hey.
Well, in the face of it, it's like the people that buy into it are so stunad because let's think about this. How many cows can they possibly be raising on this planet?
I have no idea.
Okay. Well, the population of the planet is like, 7 or 8 billion people? They're not farting?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Somebody was earlier in this room. But...
Yeah, so come on. It's like...
I'll tell you right now.
We don't have a cow for every person. So it's like on the face of it right there, it's just basic math.
You go to a Buchanan's
stupid.
family function. I'm sure we outdo a couple cows.
Oofa.
I don't know.
You can't handle the truth.
That's right.
You need me on that wall.
But, really, think about it. People like, all these cows, it's contributing to global warming. There's 7.5 billion people.
Forget about the cows. What about everything else
Every
that farts?
living organism on the planet
We all fart.
is expelling intestinal gases.
Right. But it's the cows.
Yeah, just the cows are at fault.
So we got to get rid of the
because
cows.
you like to eat a burger.
That's right.
That's what it is.
And they drink water, and, that water could be used for something else, and they're eating grass, and they're farting. We have to do away with them.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We don't want to kill them. We want them to die of natural causes.
Oh, boy.
I am a member of PETA, though.
People eating tasty animals?
Exactly.
That's right.
And
That's my group.
deep down, it's the animal's fault. Because if they didn't taste so damn good, nobody would be eating them.
That's correct.
So,
And
You know what?
You
After
did
this-
mention SeaWorld, too. They're phasing out the killer whales. They're not stopping it, but they're not bringing
Yeah, they're not bringing
more.
anyone else back. Well, ever since that one whale took that girl to the bottom by the hair and drowned her,
yeah. Well, they had a couple of incidents with
and that whale
same
just died. That one just went out.
Yeah, I think that whale knew something about it.
I have a mixed feeling on all that. Yeah, if the animal's treated fairly and kindly, which I'm sure most of them are, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have somebody beating one into submission, there's something wrong with that.
Well, I think those
So if
Russian
you have-
circuses are like...
If
they
you
were,
have
like,
proof of
brutal.
it, then fine. Show me the proof. Get the
Well,
proof.
they have what they do is PETA has where they're hitting the elephant with a stick,
the hook.
or a hook or
That
something like
hook,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, they're
right.
using it to train and also to handle.
Negative reinforcement.
Man
Negative
has
reinforcement.
used animals since the beginning of time.
That, well, if you go to the Bible, the animals were put on this planet for man.
Yeah, I mean, mules and horses.
Sure.
India, they use elephants to transport things, or they did.
Right.
Africa.
Now they have industry. Now they buy cars and use gas.
And global warming.
That's right.
Everything's global warming. Last week it was 0 degrees. I was looking forward to a little global
Yeah, I wanted
warming
to
last
right.
week when I was outside. It was not a chuckalicious time. One might say I didn't like it.
All right. We got, what other story do we want to do? Do we want to do the Caitlyn Jenner one? I definitely want to do the Caitlyn Jenner one.
Oh, that sounds like passive-aggressive John is telling where he's doing the...
Okay, that's fine. I don't know what the Caitlyn Jenner story is.
Oh,
The
it's
new-
a doozy.
Oh, it's another new one?
Caitlyn Jenner just arrives at the Glamour Woman of the Year Awards, and now she's going to actually put out a naked spread. What magazine is that going to be in? I'm trying to find
Well,
it.
I'll be sure to avoid that.
Caitlyn Jenner, the Olympic athlete turned reality TV star, was reportedly unhappy with the lack of media attention she received in 2016, is making a New Year's resolution to change that. The retired Olympic gold medal winning decathlon, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, is planning to pose nude this year to make up for a slow 2016, according to news reports. Kate wants to do something along the lines of what Kim did. What, fuck a rapper? On the cover of Paper magazine. Oh, I see. No one has worked harder than Kate to get her body she wants, and naturally, she wants to show it off, said one source. Jenner's show, I Am Kate, was canceled in August after only 2 seasons on E! Entertainment Channel. At the time, a member of the production team told reporters there just wasn't enough viewers. I Am Kate was the second reality TV show featuring Jenner, who was a series regular on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But Jenner apparently isn't giving up on headlining TV shows yet and plans to use the nude photo shoot as a boost for another television series. It will focus less on her being a transsexual and more being a single girl that just wants to date and have a great time.
Good luck with that.
How old is it now?
It's in its 60s.
Now, is there a market for 60-something, pushing 70-year-old
Dicks with
men
chicks
who
with dicks?
think they're a woman? Like,
I don't know. But the best
how
thing...
big can that audience be?
Apparently not big enough to hold a E-Entertainment TV series, which I don't know how much that has to be. So I always go to the comments of these articles.
Oh, they're always the most fun.
They are the best. So here we go. We go to the comments. They say this country is brainwashed, but I got to tell you, there's not enough Brillo, Mr. Clean erasers, or hydrochloric acid to scrub that image out of my brain. Stay home, Bruce. Dream up some other way to shock the masses that don't involve making us ill. Here's another one. Please, Lord, let this be fake news. I guess he didn't. Wait a minute. I guess he. Okay, it's a comment, so this is what it actually says. I guess he didn't enough attention posing as a guy for Playgirl in 82. So that's exactly what it is. I was trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. I guess he didn't enough attention posing as a guy for Playgirl in 1982. So that's right. He posed as a dude in 1982 for Playgirl.
So 2017?
I would not know that.
I had forgotten. People aren't paying enough attention to him, so he's going to take his clothes off in public. Right there gives me a lot of insight to what makes this person tick. It's all about publicity and keeping oneself in the public eye, resorting to bizarre stunts after bizarre stunt in order to do so. Perish the thought. But if forced to choose, I would pick Hillary's nude sorry over Caitlyn/Bruce. Here's another one. My brain just vomited. Why would anyone look at this fake Photoshop man in his 60s nude with a mental problem? This creep is an insult to real women who've lived with all their problems real women face. This guy now wants to play dress up and thinks that, God damn it, these people.
Say that one more time.
Oh,
this guy now wants to play dress up and thinks that it's all there is to being a woman. How insulting. How dare you? If he meant it, he... They're missing words. They're just missing words. If he meant it, he would have the whole operation. That's right.
That's right. He would go the whole way.
Yeah. Have him fillet your...
fillet that cock.
Yeah, fillet that cock. Turn it inside out.
And then you come out and see the rest of us.
Right. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal.
I don't want to say, no, I can't say it that way. I can't even imagine.
What?
They say wrap your head around this or wrap your whatever. This whole idea.
Oh, the idea.
Of transgendering. We have a hospital in Philadelphia that has a whole wing that specializes in this.
Where? Which hospital?
Probably Jeff.
No.
Which one?
A smaller one. Christmas or New Year's, I was talking to Cindy's sister-in-law, Terry, who works at the hospital.
Okay.
And they have a whole wing there, and there's 2 doctors. And I again, we'll have to wait for the next show. I'll get the names. I came unprepared.
Okay.
One is a transgender doctor. Went from male to female.
Ooh.
And then there's another very older gentleman, and I believe he's of the Yiddish descent. And he said, this is not a quote, that he really has trouble doing it, but they want it done, and they're going to pay, so they're going to find somebody. So he said, it might as well be me.
You know what I got to say? Oh, man, am I glad I'm a goyim.
Oh. But, yeah, she works there and, takes care of them. And she said, I treat them with the same respect I treat anybody with.
Again, I don't say you don't treat them with respect. And, again, I don't know if it's mental illness. Listen, you know me. I don't give a shit what they do. Just leave me out of it.
Right.
Don't drag me into your
twisted
nightmare.
And
the thing is, I got into an argument with Jess on our podcast Off in the Weeds because I think that they should identify themselves as transgenders before they go out in the dating scene, especially if they're male to female. Because
But she's against that?
Yeah, she says that you shouldn't have to.
Oh, excuse me.
She wants them to fall in love first, then find out.
Yeah, then find out.
Oh, so
yeah.
Kind of like the crying game.
That'll turn out. Yeah.
Reach down there thinking you're going to grab something. And
That's more. It's not the crying. It's the hysterical sobbing game. Is what that is.
It's the throwing up into the
throwing up
case
in the
of the yips game.
Oh. Again,
I don't know numbers, but there's quite a few. I mean, it's becoming more and more popular. And
I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do.
No.
All right. But I'm saying if you want to have sex with a man and you're a man, then stay a man. And find other men that want to have sex with men.
Yeah, like there's no market for that.
There's plenty of market.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure there must be more to it than that. I don't know enough to know, as you'd say.
Right. I don't know enough to know enough.
Crutchword.
Yep.
Right.
I don't know enough to know enough, but you're hearing more and more of this. And like I said, there is a hospital in Philadelphia area that
just specializes in...
not the whole hospital, a whole wing.
The whole wing of the hospital.
They have it. Transgender. And apparently you have to take... It takes about 2 years. You have to go through a whole year of...
hormone replacement. A year of psychological evaluation before they even start.
And then I believe you actually have to sort of dress the part and try it. Because there have been people who've done it and then want to switch back, which got to be really difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think once they fillet that bad boy.
Yeah, well, that's why they don't.
It's over.
Well, that's why they don't do that right away. I guess
it's over, Johnny. It's like Rambo.
But no judging here.
Nothing is over.
Get some popsicle sticks. I think we can get this thing back.
And John and I have discussed this on other issues similar. Do what you want to do, but don't jam it down my throat.
What was that, Jimmy?
I don't really want to know about
it. That's going right up front.
A bad choice of words. Doesn't get any better than that.
Oh, man. That was...
As Jimmy says about transgender women, do what you want to do, but please don't jam that down my throat.
Oh, man. I think I did get it all the way out. Unfortunately, and that's going to have to live with that one. Good thing. If I was the editor, that'd be gone. But
but unfortunately,
John's the editor, and I'm done.
John's a tyrant, and that'll live.
First of all,
I'm under the bus already.
First of all, I'm not editing a word of this. I'm taking this thing out. I'm just processing it, cleaning it up, and putting it out there. I'm not editing a word. Not my mistakes, not anybody else's mistakes. The whole thing's going in there.
Well, Jimmy and I were quite flawless.
Except for that.
Excuse me?
Yeah, we don't need any editing.
Mr. over there fumbling around with his computer. Where's the story? Where's this at?
I need a mouse.
I need a mouse.
Yeah, just because you can't read, you know, son of a bitch.
Read.
See, had you stayed in Catholic school, you'd be a good reader.
I'm smart.
Not dumb.
All right, I said that was the last story, but no, here's the last story.
I can handle things. I'm smart.
That's right. Now you've insulted my manhood. Now I have to read this freaking story.
I unfriend you. That's not how it works.
That's right. All right, Jimmy, this is right up your alley. Actually, I saw this story, and I knew that you were going to love this story.
Deuce got the show notes probably ahead of time. I didn't.
You know what?
No, I
apologize.
I got them right here.
Yeah, no.
I have a computer.
You think that I actually did this and had this all prepared? No, 15 minutes before I'm running through trying to get stories.
Okay,
I'm not that prepared.
Let's have it.
Yeah, this is John.
Good Samaritan, shoot.
This is what goes on with John's preparing.
Exactly. This is what's going on. Because who does all the heavy lifting over here? Jackass. Good Samaritan shoots, kills gunman who ambushed trooper. Did you hear this story, Jim?
Yeah, I thought I told you about it.
I figured you'd like this one. A man traveling to California came to the rescue of a wounded Arizona state trooper struggling with a gunman who had shot him Thursday in an isolated stretch of Interstate 10, authorities say. The man, who was with his wife, stopped the car when he came upon a rolled-over accident before sunrise and saw the struggle, according to Colonel Frank Milstead, director of the Arizona Department of Public Safety. The trooper told the man he needed help, and the man returned to his car, got his gun, and fired at the assailant. Thank you. The man who shot the trooper was killed, as was the woman who had been ejected from the vehicle. None of the names of those involved have been released. So basically what happened was...
Where did that happen at?
Arizona.
I saw the pictures. The car turned over. I don't know any details, but apparently as the trooper walked up to the car, he was ambushed and shot. Mm-hmm. What the guy had to do with the accident, I don't know. Maybe it's in there now. He was shot in the shoulder, and then the guy was bashing his head on the street as this other person pulled up.
I might be wrong, but usually when they don't identify people in these types of stories...
Really? It's not okay.
Just saying.
Just saying, if they don't identify them, they're Mexican.
Generally.
Okay. You sure?
Well, it's usually an ethnicity.
Oh, if I'd have known that, I would have just.
Well, I don't know if it is or not. I'm just going by the statistics.
Okay, I didn't know that one, but Deuce doesn't care. He reaches right in there and grabs it, doesn't he?
So apparently, there was a Mexican in Arizona.
Oh, boy.
Watch it come at it like Clavin Thomas.
Bill Jones of
You like the most whitest white bread name on the planet.
Sean Allard. Actually, Sean Allard is
Walter Tinsdale III.
Right. Sean Allard was a guy that used to be at the radio station, at the college radio station with us. It was Shawn Michaels. He lives in Arizona now.
I don't think that must have been before my
was
time.
Before your time? Okay.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
I don't know who that is.
I threw Sean Allard on there. If he was listening to this, he probably hit a poll right now.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, Deuce, I'm sure, was real happy with that story, too, because you tell me he's quite the gunman.
Oh, yeah. He loves to carry. He loves to carry pack.
Yeah, everyone loves guns.
Not everyone, but the guy got what he deserved, and you're going to save a lot of money in trials and all that.
There you go.
Well, not only that cop has a family. I mean, if that guy was not there to help that trooper out,
could have very well been killed.
It'd be another police funeral, and
But Jimmy, just imagine
behind.
you're driving along and you see this accident, and you go and you say to the cop, and the cop needs help, and you're like, "Oh boy, I get to shoot somebody."
No. Nobody wants to do this.
You're telling me that you wouldn't want to go back to your car and shoot this guy?
You hope you never have to.
See, now this is the bullshit that I'm going to call him on now. That's bullshit.
Deuce,
you just
he would have ran back to his car.
I would have got out with it. Deuce, he has told me though that you would like to see that sometime, or he's alluded to that you'd be more than happy to oblige. But honestly,
shoot a perp?
Yeah, honestly, you would hope you'd never have to.
No, you prepare. It's a deterrent.
All right, I want to tell you a story.
It's like Washington said, peace through strength.
Okay.
Back in the 70s, the MO was to call a house repeatedly, and when no one answered the phone, within 1 to 2 minutes, they would come rob your house.
Mm-hmm.
We had been getting those calls. I don't know if we thought about it. And I was home alone, 16 or 15, didn't drive yet. And the phone rang, and I was sitting on the
Was
throne.
it around Christmas?
I was on the throne, and I wasn't getting up to answer the phone. We didn't have cell phones. I don't even know if we had portables. And within 2 minutes, I heard, Go ahead, John. Get me on. And we live about 300 feet off the road.
Mm-hmm.
And in comes a big box truck, 26-foot type, like a moving truck.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, what the hell?
These people are serious.
Yeah, so I quick do my paperwork, and I run up to what we call the gun room, where we lock up all the guns. And I watch this truck back up to the door, and I'm thinking, and we didn't have 911. I called the wrong number, didn't get the police. I think I got the post office. So I load a gun with 3 shots, because in New Jersey, you don't can have 3 shots in your gun. And
that's just a suggestion.
I look, and there's 4 people. And I think, oh, God, I need another gun. So I go back to get another gun. And when I did, this time I looked out the window to see how close they were. They're backing up to a back door with no steps. They were going to unload the whole house.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad said, don't worry. If somebody breaks in the house, shoot them, and I'll get you the best lawyer, and you won't have any problem. So listening to my dad, that's what I was going to do. And they saw the curtain move. And with that, I heard a guy say a name's voice, somebody's home, and off they went. And then I think that's when I dialed the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And the police never caught them. They got away. And, but I was ready. I had 2 shotguns loaded. And,
yeah.
You know.
It's scary.
But the cop said to me, oh, you wouldn't want to do that. You'd have nightmares. You'd be in trouble. It's like,
I'm man enough to take that on.
Yeah. At that time, I thought,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, well, I know how to handle. Let me get into my Apache helicopter.
Yeah. So maybe it was good that there was only a 3-shot rule, because hadn't I gone back for the other gun?
Well, in my store, Mike, maybe I talked about this on the
Let me just say this, if I can get. I just want to circle back to this story. So if you would have just yelled, "Hey, what are you doing out there?" they would have left.
Well, I didn't think of that. You know.
No, you loaded 2 guns.
2 shotguns, yeah.
Right. And you were ready to shoot somebody.
And laid in the prone position because I didn't want to be a target.
Luck favors the prepared.
Yeah. And when they kicked in that
I have
door,
to commend the Jimmy.
Of course you do.
Fuck you, John. We're going to do the Jimmy and Deuce show.
At 15 and 16, I was
Good
a little
luck with
nervous.
that.
I was a little nervous because there was 4 guys. And,
Right.
You know.
Oh, you were a kid then?
Yeah.
When this all
Oh,
happened.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a car. My dad said, "Why don't you chase him?" I didn't have a license. I didn't want to go out on the road and chase this truck down.
Yeah,
and then I thought, supposedly they were just wrong spot making the wrong delivery, but they weren't. They were.
Yeah, they were there to do something.
Yeah, that happened to a relative of mine. Their son got married. Oldest son got married, and a truck came to the house the day of the wedding. The neighbor thought, "Oh, it's something with the wedding." They cleaned the entire house.
They
out.
got in my development it's
Christmas
a
presents.
It's
guns.
a number of years ago now,
Yeah.
but someone showed up in a van and it said I'm just using Sears delivery or something like that.
Oh, you can't do that.
And they knew that those people weren't home, but they came in like a delivery van. It looked totally legit. And one of them must have been a lock picker. They got the door open and they carried stuff out. And all the neighbors on that street just said, "Oh, so-and-so is."
Who do you think the lockpicker was?
I don't know.
No,
They got away with it, so they didn't need to identify them. I was like, no, I mean, it didn't happen on my street, but it was a couple of blocks away.
Well,
And
we have
it was-
cousins that the same thing happened to. And them 2 knuckleheads blew a hole in the roof.
Oh yeah, and they blamed the left-handed safe. One of them was left-handed, so they had their gun converted
right
to the safe to be the other way, and they blew a hole through the ceiling and right through the roof.
Oh, no!
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Those 2 knuckleheads are lucky they're alive. Well, actually, anyhow. But sorry.
Yeah, so that's a whole nother thing.
I digress.
Yeah. Well, it's my store, the guy that showed up in my store, it was an October. My son was just born. He was like a week old, and it was the first week of October. It was like a really warm day in October. It was like in its
Indian summer,
like in the 80s. And this taxi cab pulls up, and this guy gets out, and he's wearing short pants and a ski jacket. So I know he's here to shoplift, so I automatically hit the silent alarm. Well, let me just get the cops mobilized right now because this guy's coming in here to steal cigarettes. That's what he's here for. And when he came in, he knew that I knew that he was up to something. And he made a gesture like something was under his coat, like falling. "Oh, that's cool, man. It's just my gun." And all kinds of wild stuff is running through my head. Like, "Oh, this is just great. My son was just born. I'm not going to watch him grow up. I'm going to get shot. I'm going to get killed." He wound up getting 2 cartons of cigarettes off me. And I did get them back because the cops showed up. They chased the taxi cab. He got out and ran through Creek Road in Belmar. He ran through the creek.
he actually took a cab to a robbery.
Apparently that was the MO. What they were doing was, and it was actually pretty clever. If I'm the thief, I call you, you're a cab driver. You drop me off at, say, the bowling alley. And then I call John up, and he's a cab driver. He picks me up at the bowling alley and drops me off somewhere else. So it was a way that they were doing that to like kind of cover their tracks. Okay, I found this out from the police after the fact.
And we're talking 21 years ago.
This was in 1995. They caught the guy. He did 5 years. Now when he got out, they had to alert me. It's like, hey, this guy, he's out of jail now. He got 5 years for saying that he had a gun. But the point was, after he left, I never carried a gun in my life. But after that instance, I got on the phone with Kramer Leather, ordered 2 handgun holsters inside the waist, and I was packing for 7 years in that store. It was just I'm going home, or I'm going to try to
go home.
Yeah, I'm going. It's scary.
Yeah. And again, I think you should have the right to,
especially in a cash business store.
Well, that was it. I had cigarettes
lottery.
up to yin yang. I had lottery. I had cash galore. So
You're a soft target.
Exactly.
He was up to his nipples in good stuff. So, all right, folks. I think it's been an hour and 43 minutes. I could do this all day, to be quite honest with you.
24 hours of
24 hours of the.
Well, some of us have to work tomorrow.
Yep. And I have some friends that I'm going to have to listen first before I give them the link because I don't know. Let's see how this goes.
Why? What do you think is so bad?
No, I don't. I just.
I got to tell you something. I was very impressed with the Jimmy. The Jimmy did a great job today.
How could he not?
All right.
I wasn't sure.
I had a lot of practice listening, but not talking.
Jimmy's solid.
Yeah, absolutely solid. So you got the mic there, Jimmy. You can come down. I don't know. What do you think? Should we do these more live, or would you rather just go back to the way we were doing them?
Well, it's good that we could do it remotely if the weather's shitty.
If the weather's crappy, but
if
I mean,
Cooper Road and Evergreen are shut down, it takes Deuce a fucking hour to get here.
Well, we won't know that until you try to get here.
Oh man, I was like so angry.
But it was really nice to actually. It was really nice to actually be able to sit here and talk. I don't know. I think it actually turned out pretty well. I swear. When we get out of here, I'm turning this off. I'm putting the outro music on it, and it'll be an MP3 and ready to go. And all we got to do is get the artwork. What I said earlier, I said that was the
title of the show. I think you said,
and I can't remember. What
I don't know. We were having such a holly jolly good time.
Was that before I turned on the recording?
No, it was after you started recording.
Okay. All right. Oh, he's got the pliers. We're going to fix a toilet after this.
What's this wee shit?
Yeah.
You got a mouse in your pocket? Because I'm not helping.
Let's see. Wait a minute.
Deuce is leaving. Say it. What? Say it.
I'm not a plumber.
Say it.
Nah.
What are you talking about?
You've never heard that one?
No.
Grumpy old man. I'm not a plumber.
Come on. What is it? What can you say? We talked about somebody fucking a dog. What can you say that's going to be that bad?
I'm not a plumber.
But
I've laid more pipe in this town than Wabasha Plumbing.
There we go. All that for that. My God.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
You never,
no, I know that, but I'm just
you don't
saying.
remember the line?
Yeah.
Now I do.
Deuce approves.
Deuce approves. All that for that. Yeah. It wasn't even. It's like I thought he was going to say something so controversial.
No, you touched on
that. Was the vacation we went on in the winter
so
in the summer of '89.
Right.
Wellsboro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard your stories.
Yeah.
So
well, that was the summer trip of July '89. The trip's so controversial. It's still talked about.
It's not.
No, we didn't go. John Wisely did not go.
I knew.
Yeah,
I knew that was a dumpster fire.
Oh, yeah, I love that one.
After Tara sitting on his lap.
This show is a dumpster fire.
Oh, that was a show not too long ago. You discussed. Yeah, Sandy walking into Kaminsky's.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was another one. The trip that immediately followed that incident. That the trip was so controversial.
I think it stopped after that. I think they actually ruined it.
No, we went on a couple after that. In fact, Joe made a music video out of it with the intro says "No geeks, no freaks, no deadbeats." And of course, the bitter Asian man was all pissed off because Joe made an excellent music video and production with just a VHS recorder and a VCR, and he did in his studio or at the college that he was working on with a mixer and all that crap. So,
it's a very bitter Asian man.
Yeah, hence the name.
Bitter Asian.
What year was the Camden County College thing?
I met John in October of '87, and I became the oldies disc jockey maybe in February of '88. Like, because when the spring semester started, they needed a oldies disc jockey, and I had the records for it.
Right, and I was out of there in '89.
And then I got the Tuesday night show because nobody wanted it, quite frankly. And I didn't know anything about top 40 music at that time, outside of the obvious Def Leppard and U2 when they were, because the music was interesting then. But I just said, well, I don't know any of the new music. So I just said, the hell with it. I would just open up the request line. I took everything by request.
Okay. Because John used to put a show out Saturday mornings, I think, at 8 o'clock.
Saturday with Sinatra.
Yeah. And
that was my
depending on the weather, how good I could get it or not, how well it came in.
Yeah, it had a 10-mile broadcasting.
Is that what it was? Yeah, I could get it, but it was
only a 100-watt station. That was it.
Right. I remember that. Saturday morning, 8 o'clock.
Saturday morning with Sinatra. Here what it was. I go there, and everything's booked up. There's not a spot to be had. And they were looking for somebody to do Saturday with Sinatra. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing Saturday with Sinatra. Holy crap, was that a horrible, horrible show.
You didn't like it?
Well, you'd be out Friday night all night.
Oh, it was hard.
That wasn't it. It was just like Frank Sinatra. How many Frank Sinatra songs can you play? You know what I mean?
The guy only had a 50-year career.
I understand that, but I mean, come on. So then what I did was after that, the semester was over, I talked them into going to oldies.
Okay.
And then we did the oldies show.
Well, who was the oldies between you and me?
There wasn't. It was me. I got done doing it, and then you took over.
Okay. I didn't know I took it. I thought there was someone else in there.
Yeah, I don't remember the forum. I think it was oldies when I was listening, but it could have been.
Yeah, it went from, but it was Saturday morning with Sinatra.
The oldies show went 10 to 12 when I had
Summer
it.
wind.
Because then we had to go off the air because Hoffman wasn't in. You had to have a college principal
there had to be somebody
campus.
from the
So
administration there.
Right. So we went off the air on Saturdays and
Like
Sunday
12
at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So my oldies shows was 10 to 12. And I found out you will never, I know why nobody wanted to do the oldies show, because back then everything was vinyl. We had one oldies song on cart, and it was Martha Reeves and the Vandells' Heat Wave. That was it. Okay. Everything else was my 45s or my albums. And every oldies song, like you're talking Beatles, Beach Boys, you're talking tops 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Nobody wanted to constantly queue up the records.
Right.
So that's why I used to say stand-up radio, because you never had a chance to sit down. See, if you were like you just throw a card in, you would relax, you would reach over and you could, but if you did the oldies show, you couldn't sit down. So, and plus we had the Squeakmaster 1000 in that studio. So it's like every time I leaned over, it was like, yeah, like you heard every like squeak of that chair. So I booted that son of a bitch right out.
But we used to, I did the oldie show first, and I enjoyed it. And we would open up the request lines, and I would do, back then I had sets. Mm-hmm. That I would go from 1 to 2, either Motown or something. I had them ready to go, and I knew the music so well that I could just bang, and I knew all my 45 so well that I could just reach in and pick.
Right.
So it wasn't that big of a deal, because I used to do mobile DJing too.
Yeah,
I would bring my own record. Remember, I had I was the station manager, so I had my own office. So I would lock all my records in there.
You were the station manager,
right? So I would lock all my records in my office. So I didn't have to carry them in and out.
Right.
Yeah. That was smart.
And here we are 30 years later, is it? No,
you don't even need it. You just have a laptop.
But I still got all those fucking records
so
in
do
45s.
I. Yeah, so do I.
Because a lot of that stuff you can't get.
Right.
It's not out there.
Right.
It's, on digital or, whatever. It's
I have an outlet for you if you want some oldies.
No. Why would I want that? I can go to...
He's talking to me, John.
Right. Deuce.
Okay, Deuce wants to.
Well, you're so self-centered.
Yeah,
I am. It's all about
I'm just going to take my name right out. It's going to be the Brand X podcast with John.
It's John Buchanan and the Brand X podcast.
Look, he's all happy about that too.
Before it was Brand X and John Buchanan. John is taking over now. It's John Buchanan and the Brand X podcast.
But back then in the studio we had 2 turntables, 4 cart machines, a dual tape cassette deck, and 2 mics. That was it.
Yeah.
And, we had a lot of fun. John had Monday nights. The top 40 shows were the funnest. And they were 7 to 10. And that's when we went off the air. So John had Monday 7 to 10. I had Tuesday 7 to 10. The Bitter Asian Man had Wednesday 7 to 10. Lady Pink had Thursday 7 to 10. And Ivan the Terrible.
No, there was no Friday nights. There wasn't any Friday nights.
Well, we didn't go see Ivan the Terrible. He's, if you ever, as Johnny say, if you ever listen to him, you'll know why we call him Ivan the Terrible.
He's brutal.
God. All right. Well, I say we wrap this up.
All right. So thank you very much for listening to the Brand X podcast. And we would really appreciate it if you got a chance to go over to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast, because that helps us out the most. And if you're there and you want to, leave us a review. We enjoy that because we love reviews. We read them here on the show. And also, we would love it if you contacted us on social media. We are on the Twitter. We have a Facebook page, and we're on Instagram. You can find all those links by either tapping the cover art on your phone, and they'll pop up in the show notes, or go to Brand X. Look at him. Look at him over there. Jimmy's tapping the phone with them big giant sausage figures that he has. And go over to brandxpodcast.com/contact, and our contact information is over there. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Come on back next week for another episode of the Brand X Podcast.
Ciao, bitches.
Good night, guys.
That's it. We're just getting into it.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Up in Pennsylvania, where our cousins still live,
yes.
There was a guy, no last names, but his first name was Glenn. And he had a pony that he really had a way with.
My pretty pony.
I believe he was arrested and charged and let go. And several months later, the parole officer came out and caught him having his way again with the pony.
The same pony?
I don't know if it was the same pony, but I could, do a little research. But
now wait a minute.
You don't remember that story? You have to ask our cousin Greg. Yeah, lived up on.
All right, let's not get. Lived at 1542 Ridge Road. I'm not going to give any last names, but that pony fucker lived.
lot number 226, block number 8.
Well, you all heard that story about Barbara Walters when she interviewed the chief. Yeah.
You didn't hear that?
No, I didn't hear the story. What story is this?
Well, an Indian chief has many feathers in his hat.
Right.
Cap. And some of the other Indians only had 2 and 3 and 4. So
Right.
when she asked the chief, how come you have so many feathers? And she says, oh, well, I have one for every woman. I mean, fuck all these women and I earn the feathers. And she goes, oh, dear. He said, oh, no, dear, run too fast, jump too high.
I scrape my pee-pee, make me cry.
That's like the other, why do you ask? 2 dogs fucking.
Broken rubber.
Remember that joke?
Oh, yes.
Why do you ask?
My favorite joke was from Jackie the Joke Man Marling.
We're not recording, are we?
Of course we're recording.
Oh.
What do you think I was going to let you?
Get
Jimmy
away
goes, oh, we're not recording, are we? I hit that fucking record button immediately.
I thought I saw his finger on the trigger.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. So the best joke I heard about the Indian chief was Indian chief goes to the whorehouse. Says, me want a woman, me got a money. And madam goes, you got any experience? She goes, no. Chief goes, no, I have no experience. She says, all right, chief, get out of here. Come back when you got some experience. So about 2 weeks later, chief comes back to the whorehouse, knocks on the door. Madams opens up, says, hey, chief. He says, me want a woman, me got a money, me got him experience. Says, okay, hey, Mary, take the chief upstairs and give him a toss. 5 minutes later, there's a scream. The madam runs upstairs, opens up the door. The chief's got the woman bent over the bed, and he's hitting her with a coat rack. The madam goes, Chief, what are you doing? The chief looks at the madam and says, checking for bees. So there you go. All right, do I come clean with the story? This is the first time we've been using the BXP studio, and I did the Facebook Live, and we went in here and we did about, 15, 20 minutes.
Of radio you'll never hear.
Because John forgot to press the fucking record button.
First day, huh?
First day I've ever.
Opening night jitters for John.
Got a lot of stuff going on here. I got the recording. I've got, what else do I got here? I got, exactly. Got to clear I'm clearing everything off. All right, so now we're going to go back in.
This is a lot more entertaining to see you live doing it instead of
just hearing it.
Yeah, well.
Oh, you guys do the.
Well, we do it
remotely. Yeah, we do it remotely.
You look a lot thinner in person.
Do I really?
Because I always say the camera adds 10 pounds. So you know.
Oh,
what a jerk off! All right.
So we lost our first 10 to 15
10
minutes.
to 15 minutes. We lost
great entertainment.
It was
Gone
great.
Forever.
It's gone forever. Well, although I did get that horse fucking story out of you.
Pony. Not that it
the
matters.
pony.
If you can reach your horse, you're doing something.
Right.
Yeah, you had to get like a step stool. And
I don't have, you know what? I don't have enough in me to figure out how to actually get the logistics in that.
go to machinations of that.
Yeah, I'd have no idea. All right, let's start this show again. Hold on, here we go.